Hey, in this video, we're going to do a comparison between the XVive U2 and the XVive A58 wireless guitar system. So stick around. Hi, it's Mike, Messing with Music. Hey, we're here today to take a look at guitar wireless systems. The ones I've been working with for the longest time, for the last 3 years, the XVive U2, and I'm going to compare it to the brand new A58 that I just got. And we're going to take a look at the differences between these two and what makes both of them great. You know, this one's a trooper. This one's been all around the world. This one I'm just starting to work with, but we're going to give it a real try. We're going to try out what the distance that they can operate away from the amp. We're going to take a look at the way that they connect to the channels and the differences between those. We're going to take a look at the charging on them and how that works and what's different between them. And we're going to see if it's worth upgrading from a U2 to an A58. As it is, I have both of them, so let's see which one I keep. So stick with us. We'll get into this right away. And hey, if this sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. And that will really help me. And I will bring more of these type of videos to you and bring you more information in a format that I hope you enjoy. So, hey, let's mess with some music. Okay, just taking a look at the general size of the case. These come in, the U2 comes out in a case with a handy strap, which I actually use to connect this to my Spark Mini. I'll miss that if I go to the A58, which does not have a strap, but it is a smaller unit and will easily fit inside my guitar case. Either would, but it'll fit more easily. As you can see, the size is smaller in every dimension. Opening them up, you see that there's a place to store the charging cable and the two units. Same thing here. Charging cable and two units. Let's take a look at the units. We'll take a look. They're both identical size for the transmitter receiver on both pairs, right? So if I take a look at the transmitter, here's the transmitter for the U2 and here's the transmitter for the A58. And yeah, you can see obviously it's smaller. It'll fit a little bit easier on your guitar. So if you look at these charging ports, this one is a USB Mini B, and this one is a USB C. So USB Mini B and a USB C. So this is the more modern one, obviously. USB-C cables can also typically, there'll be a higher amperage. So it will be interesting to see if this one charges faster. I will test that and let you know. Let's take a look at when you turn them on. In the case of the U2, you see the flash, green 1, 2, 3, 4. So that tells me I'm on channel 4. And so when I look at the receiver, I need to make sure that it gets to channel 4 as well. You press this little button to advance it to the next channel. And you need to get them balanced. When you're dealing with this one, you start with the receiver, and when you turn on the receiver, press the little scan button for 3 seconds. It scans and it makes sure that it finds the best out of 6 channels. And finally it settles. In this case, it settled on number 1, which probably means there's no interference anywhere around. But then you simply go to your transmitter, you turn that on, and make sure you're on the same channel, channel 1. So a bit more sophisticated in the way that it selects a channel. Hey, we're by an airport, as you can hear. We are going to try the range out on the U2 and on the A58 transceiver. Okay, let's see what we do. This is the transmitter. Transmitter is on. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on channel 4. The receiver is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my handy assistant is going to bring over the little amp, and we're going to plug this into my Spark Mini. Put that down, makes it a little easier. Yeah, good. All right, we're in the Mini, and we're off channel. This is a good point about the channels on this thing. All right, I'm going to have to change it all the way to 4. we go. Okay, I've got everything up on max volume so we can try and hear what's going on, but Henry's going to indicate to us if it's still working. So Henry, right now, if I start playing Jingle Bell Rock, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. All right, head down. Go about halfway to the other end and point the speaker at me.
About right here?
Yeah, it still sounds pretty loud. All right, keep going, Henry. Head for the corner of the fence. The corner of the fence is 100 feet away from where I'm standing. Okay. Keep going. Doesn't help me play better. Then we got.
Keep going.
All right, keep going, Henry, all the way to the corner of the fence. Keep going all the way to the fence. Is it still as loud as ever, Henry? All right, all the way to the corner, and let's give it one last try. We'll try it on some high notes we can hear away. Well, that's 100 feet away, and it worked just fine, and that was the U2. Next, we're going to try the A58. Come on back, Henry.
Yep.
All right, I've switched over to the A58. It picked up the right channel right away, of course, because that's the A58's strength about picking up channels. So let's go. Now Tony's going to give it a try. Go on downfield. Shoot. Take a picture of Tony as he goes away, Henry. Still loud as that, Tony?
Yeah.
Keep going all the way to the corner of the fence, and let's see if it does the 100 feet. Got to keep the speaker pointing towards us. Thank you.
Sit down together.
Can you still hear it loud? All right. Well, both of them worked out to 100 feet. Thank you, gentlemen, for a very good experiment. Let's take a look at the amplitude issue. Is the amplitude that comes out of a regular 1/4 inch cable the same as the U2 and the A58? When we were doing our field tests, I thought I might have heard a little bit of a difference between the two transceivers, and we'll see whether that's the case or not. But I'm just going to play a chord progression of 3 chords. I'm going to play them through my Spark Live unit, capturing it through this microphone and into my Tascam. And we'll be able to look at the Tascam readings and compare them for the decibels of all 3 of these connections and see what we get. Okay, that's with the cable. Drop the cable and go to the U2. And here it is with the U2. All right, now let's compare it with the A58. All right, take a look at all those 3 and do a comparison. So the U2 gained about a decibel over the cable, and the loudest was the A58. Okay, the next point to talk about is delay. Both of these units are rated at less than 5 milliseconds of delay. Now, compare that to Bluetooth, which I think the best Bluetooth is somewhere around 30 milliseconds. Compare it to guitar effects, like flange and chorus, which are anywhere between 15 and 35 milliseconds. So that's where you start to be able to discern a difference. Let's do the math. The speed of sound at sea level and about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius, is rated at anywhere between 1100 and 1180 feet per second. Okay, so that means it's about 1,000 feet per second, and a millisecond is 1,000th of a second, which means that for every millisecond, it's about 1 foot. So you're looking at somewhere between 5 and 6 feet apart, and someone's playing guitar, and the delay between playing on the guitar and getting to your ears is 5 to 6 milliseconds. Okay, that is not enough to discern clearly. So even if these were doubling or tripling the 5 milliseconds, it wouldn't make any difference. But both of them are rated at less than 5 milliseconds, and I have absolutely no way of verifying that, except that I don't sense any delay when I'm playing it. And that's it for delay. Hey, let's talk about the charging and the power of these units. I let both of these units die. Now let's start off by talking about that. Just leave them on. They'll die. There's no auto shut off on either of them. So if you just leave them on overnight, you wake up in the morning, you turn them on, there's no power, there's no nothing. Next thing is, there is no way of knowing how much power is in it when it's not either dead or fully charged, right? There's fully charged and there's dead. And with this one, it goes from a green to a yellow when it's midway, but then eventually to red and then off. Okay, so you do get that. This is a 3-year-old unit, right? The XVive U2 is 3 years on the road with me. And now I left this charging all night long and it still shows red when I turn it on. What's that tell me? I don't know. I don't know how red it is. I have no idea how much power is in this, how long it will last me, but it's not going to green. And I left it charging all night long. You can see the picture here. I had them all set up to charge together. This one, on the other hand, in 2.5 hours, I was checking it every half hour, and at 2.5 hours, it was fully charged, and it shows green. And so I think, probably it's early, when it's new, this one probably charged pretty quick and get the green as well. I have no idea how long it took, because after 4 hours, when I finally went to bed last night, it still wasn't green, it was red. And this morning when I got up, it was still red. Okay, so after 3 years, we know that this one's not charging fully. This one charges fully. They say it's playable for 5 hours once it's fully charged. I can believe them. You can try that. But make sure you start off green when you're going to go out and start performing with this thing, because you have no idea when it's going to die. And let's take a look at one other thing. So I opened this up and looked inside to see if perhaps they were replaceable batteries in there. It's all wired in it's kind of a satchel battery that's all not something, and there's no plug for unplugging it and replacing it with another. So there's no way to recharge these other than recharging them. Okay, and so that is a limitation. So we're going to look at a table of all the different things about these two units, and the cable has that over all of them. When it's always ready. Okay, the cable is always ready. But these you got to be careful about when you're charging them, and when you've gone on the road for 3 years, you might want to consider about replacing it. If I was going to replace an XVive unit today, this is the one I would replace it with, and I have. This one's going to go to my grandson, who is a really good guitarist, and he's becoming so much better than me, and he'll enjoy this very much, and he's not going to be on the road performing, so it's not going to matter. But I'm going with the XVive A58.